Hey guys, welcome to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you my thoughts after Michigan's basketball season wrapped up. I know that was on Saturday, and after the epic collapse, I just thought it would be better for me to take a couple days to think about it instead of instant reaction, where I probably would have criticized players, and I think that was a right choice not to do the video there because I think I was really ticked, and I probably would have really complained about some players who did not have the great ending to that game, and that would, I'm glad I didn't do that. So I just wanted to reflect on the season as a whole. First off, I think you just say the season is disappointing. First off, not making the tournament, picked to be top of the Big Ten and not making the tournament, finished 8th in the Big Ten. Obviously, so many losses, close losses, never being able to really seem to put a whole game together on those games, pull out those victories that you really needed down the stretch. I know they got the Wisconsin game, but that was like a miracle that, Hunter hit that shot kind of like, again, it was a game Michigan probably could have and should have lost. But, overall the season and the youth really showed its head. You had, this team coming back. You lost Houston and Diabate. If you would have had them on this team, the balance you could have had in theory, again, it's all in theory. So Michigan really suffered from a really young team. I think Michigan really has to move away from the ones and dones and just build on, get those good players but not great players. I mean, just try to go back to the John Beilein system where you would recruit players that were not going to be done after 1 year. You could keep them around for a year or two or hopefully 3. Just like today, I think you got Doug McDaniel's going to stay for 2, 3, 4 years. Probably Terrace Reed will be 3, 4 years probably, and then you build on for that. So really, I think Coach Howard has to really move on and get into that strategy. I think another thing that really hurt was Llewellyn being injured out for the year, tearing his ACL over in England. That thrust Doug McDaniel into the starting lineup, which trial by fire. He definitely turned the season around. He played really well at times and really bad at times. But then you saw it in the last game versus Vanderbilt. Michigan had one guard with Kobe and Jet not playing. One guard. Michigan really has to try to get some guards. Obviously, losing Isaiah Barnes for the transfer portal, I would expect some more players going to the portal. One that I found interesting, the idea was, what about Hunter? Is he going to go portal? Does he not want to stick around and be part of another down year at Michigan? I mean, I wouldn't blame him for that. I mean, I don't see Michigan having a super good year next year, and it's his last year in theory. I don't see any NBA potential for him, his career, so maybe he sticks around to get better NIL money at Michigan versus going someplace else, perhaps. And then Michigan has to really hit the portal for a 4 because they didn't have anything. I mean, they're talking about that Mac from Wolford. Hopefully he would come, but you really need to recruit some guards. You really need to hit the portal for some experienced guards. I would not mind if Llewellyn came back as a point guard off the bench. I don't know if I'd really want Baker back. I mean, I guess off the bench, fine. But I would not be surprised if Cheddar left and T-Will maybe. I mean, I'm not going to take a personal attack on T-Will, but his season was not as good as we had hoped. Every statistical, his shooting went down from 46% to 39%, from threes from 39% to 25%. So he played 11 and a half more minutes, and he only got 1.5 points more per game. That's not going to cut it. You can't have that as a starter next year. So Coach Howard's going to have to make some tough decisions and say, you know what, be real with the players. We're going to have to move on. This isn't going to work here for you at Michigan. Another thing Howard has to really do is look again at his recruiting. He has to figure out what he really needs and hit and focus on that. And I think Howard has to really look at his coaching staff. You need someone that can really help coach defense if that's not Howard. What do your assistants really do? Does Phil Martelli come back? I don't know what he really does for Michigan. Your assistants, what do they do? Do you need to move on from your assistants? It's going to be tough. I know it's 2 years in a row where Michigan hasn't played that great. And last year they snuck into the tournament and they made the Sweet 16 sweet. This year they don't make the tournament. And, the flame out. just the loss against Vanderbilt was just the epitome of the whole season, where you had the game and you just don't execute, you don't win, up by 8 points with a minute left, and you lose that game. Oh man, brutal, but it was a brutal season for all those reasons. Those are just my thoughts after Michigan season. Disappointing, but what are they going to do to build off of this? You got big questions. Jet go pro, Kobe go pro, or they come back? So there's a lot of unanswered questions. I don't know when we're going to get an answer either, because when does the NBA even do their pre-draft combine and such? That's going to be a while. It's like people are in the portal right now, and now Michigan's kind of held hostage again. Do you have scholarships to even offer? You don't know. And that's kind of a frustration point, because if Kobe, if Jet leave, you need those spots filled big time. You probably need to get a guard anyways, even if they came back. So it's going to be interesting what Michigan's going to do. It'll be I'll be curious how this offseason goes. I would expect more people to transfer, and hopefully Kobe, especially. I think Kobe, I'd love for him to get back, but if Jet could come back too, and Hunter to come back, at least you have some building blocks there. I don't know. Those are just my foolish thoughts after Michigan's season wraps up. What do you guys take away from the season? What do you want them to do in the offseason? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and until I see you guys next time, as always, go Blue!